All right, let's check this clip out.
I broke up with my boyfriend, someone I love, someone I have known for over 10 years, because he didn't stand up to misogynistic young men when he was given the opportunity. We had just finished watching Adolescence, a miniseries on Netflix that essentially talks about how boys are being more and more radicalized online, how parents aren't paying attention, and how it's really up to men to help solve this problem because they're surely not going to listen to us. So we were walking to the farmer's market, and right behind us were two boys, probably 13 or 14 years old, and they were saying things like, Trump is the best, what has he ever done? He has more followers online, I don't get why no one would like him. And I was seething because my 6'4", handsome, white privileged boyfriend wasn't saying anything. And so finally I stop, I turn around and I get right in their face and I said, he's a fucking rapist. He's a certified fucking rapist. And they go white in the face. Boyfriend? Still just standing there, not saying anything. Once the boys get their bearings, they say something like, Trump is my daddy. Trump is your daddy. And I was furious. I had a full-blown crash out. I took my full morning latte and I smashed it on the ground and I grunted and yelled and walked away. And he's like, what's the matter? You're the matter. Not even the boys so much. Him, because he had an opportunity to stand up against misogyny and he fucking didn't. I broke up with my boyfriend, someone
Oh my God. The guy dodged a massive bullet. Yo, placebo. Thank you for sharing. Amazing that you get a prenup. Code approach, man, that's still rare. That's rare. First of all, wasn't adolescence black faced? I don't know. I didn't see. I didn't. Is that the show? I didn't see it. Isn't it based on black kid that was violent? Then they created a white kid. Or wrong way. I don't really know. I think. I mean, I know this. If you're talking about the show, it's white kids, but I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's based on anything. So I don't really know. God damn. This woman is insane. The boy, she's a nutcase. The boyfriend dodged a huge bullet. Dodged a huge motherfucking bullet.
I love, someone I have known for over 10 years. I broke up with my boyfriend, someone I love, someone I have known for over 10 years, because he didn't stand up to misogynistic young men when he was.
I can't believe he was with her for 10 years. This is what I'm saying, where I honestly believe that a lot of men are weak, are feminine mindset. A lot of men are feminine mindset. A lot of men are weak because here's the thing. How can you deal with a woman? How can you be with a woman that's so emotionally unregulated? This woman is psychotic. This woman, you do not have control of her. And and here's another thing: a woman you don't have control over, she's gonna get you fucking killed. She's gonna get you killed. She's gonna ruin your life. 10 years with the woman. 10 years. And she broke up with him because he didn't talk to fucking kids. He didn't correct kids.
Given the opportunity. We had just finished watching Adolescence, a miniseries on Netflix that essentially talks about how boys are being more and more radicalized online, how parents aren't paying attention, and how it's really up to men to help solve this problem because they're.
Here's the thing. One, I honestly believe it's up to fathers. It's up to fathers because young boys, I honestly believe will rarely listen to strangers, men that they don't know. I honestly believe young boys will rarely listen to other men. They find, why would they? So anyone that will actually affect a young boy is a father, is their father. So it will go to the root is the mother needs to fucking choose right. You can't have a random ass man talk to kids. Is not going to change the mind of kids, particularly boys. He's not. Unless he's like really active in the kid's life, it is hard to really affect a young boy's mind if you're not active, or i.e. taking the place of the father. It is a father. So no, men are not, it's not the job, or men can't do it. It is fathers that can do it.
Surely not going to listen to us. So we were walking to the farmer's market, and right behind us were two boys, probably 13 or 14 years old, and they were saying things like, Trump is the best, what has he ever done, he has more followers online, I don't get why no one would like him. And I was seething because my 6'4", handsome, white privileged boyfriend was
white privileged boyfriend. I honestly believe she hated the guy. This is the thing where I'm saying where men are fucking weak. Why are you getting with leftist women? Why are you getting with feminist women? Why are you getting with Democrat women? Why the fuck are you getting with these women? Because at the end of the day, they don't like you, right? They tolerate you because for whatever reason that maybe you showed some leftist, democratic, feminist viewpoint, but they really don't like you. They see you as a white or male supremacist or abuser, or they do not like you deep down. Literally bringing this man's color as in like something.
Wasn't saying anything. And so finally I stop, I turn around, and I get right in their face, and I said, he's a fucking rapist. He's a certified fucking rapist. And they go,
I correct me if I'm wrong, but he wasn't he wasn't I think he wasn't he was accused of it. He wasn't judged for it. I believe. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think he was. He didn't. He wasn't judged guilty of that. So I don't think that's true. But correct me if I'm wrong.
white in the face. Boyfriend? Still just standing there, not saying anything. Once the boys get their bearings, they say something like, Trump is my daddy. Trump is your daddy. And I was furious. I had a full-blown crash out. I took my full morning latte and I smashed it on the ground, and I...
Absolutely toxic. It's like inability to regulate your emotions. These were kids, and you went ballistic in front of these kids. I find it really ridiculous. And this is the thing where why these men are maybe more feminine than ever. Because this is the thing where you're producing, okay? You don't have control of her. And you're getting with women that are absolutely unstable as fuck. They are crazy. A woman that can't control her emotions will get you killed. So imagine this. If that scenario wasn't boys, but men, right? If she did that in front of men, a bunch of men, okay? She went ballistic like that. She pretty much put this 6'4" man life in danger. What is he going to have to do? Fight a bunch of men now? He's going to have to fucking fight a bunch of men. It's like you could get a man killed for that. Or, hell, you could get him sent to prison. Because, hell, this is the thing where now he has to fight against a bunch of men. His life is on the line. So he would have to hurt a bunch of men if he could. Right? It's either he has to hurt the men or get hurt by the men. So it's either or he's get killed, he's gonna get hurt, or he has to kill, or he has to hurt. He has to hurt someone. This is the thing where women put men in dangerous situations.
grunted and yelled and walked away, and he's like, what's the matter? You're the matter. Not even the boys so much. Him, because he had an opportunity to stand up against misogyny, and he fucking didn't. I broke up with my boyfriend, someone I love, someone I have known for over 10 years, because he didn't stand up to misogynistic young men when he was given the opportunity. We had just finished watching Adolescence, a miniseries on Netflix that essentially talks about how boys are being more and more radicalized online, how parents.
And it's funny that you want your man to do what to the kids? Educate the kids? You think that's going to affect them? He's a fucking stranger. What do you want him to beat the kids up? You want him to, this is the thing. You want a man to be as emotionally unstable as you. A man that's 6'4". A man that's 6'4". You want him to be as emotionally unstable as you. To what? Threaten these kids? To be aggressive as you? This is why women are dangerous and stupid. You want a man who is 6'4" to let go of his emotions? To have emotional outbursts whenever he's triggered? This is the problem with women. Right? For years, decades even, women say, oh, men are so stoic. Men don't know how to express emotions, all that shit. No. Men do. It's called regulation. It's that men do know that if you express emotion and you do it often, there's a high probability that you can be too expressive, because emotions are not easy to control. This was a dark moment in my life. Okay, a dark moment in my life where I got so blind angry. Okay, I got so blind angry. I was so like, I think I could have blacked out in a stupid way, but I was so blind angry. I ran to a door. Okay, I wanted to, again. My ex was in the room. I was knocking on that door. Okay, whatever. We had an argument. It was a toxic relationship. Okay, but I was so angry, insanely angry. And this was an apartment, a rented part. I was banging on that door. I wanted her to come out. Not to do anything bad, but we had to finish our argument or whatever. Okay, I bust down that fucking door. I broke that door. And after breaking that door, I woke up. Right? It's like, what the fuck am I doing? And because that being so overly emotional was such a dangerous thing to me. Like, it's like I was like, fucking, I will never be that overly emotional, because later on I realized that there was a key to that door on top of the ledge, right? On top of the door frame. I could have taken that key and just opened the door. But I was so emotionally unstable. Okay, I was so angry. Okay, so upset. So, because we were having a stupid argument. It was a really ridiculous argument. I did not see nothing, right? I was not thinking about anything. And after that moment, I came to realize that I'm not going to do that again. I will not get that emotional ever again. Because one, that was dangerous. That was a man that I did not want to be. That was a man that I did not respect. I was scared of, because I do not want, as a man, being in an emotional state that I couldn't control. Being blinded with any kind of emotion is a dangerous thing for a man. So do not fucking listen to women. Do not be emotional. Do not express your emotion so freely, so, uncontrollably, because emotions in itself is very hard to control. Obviously, this woman, right, couldn't control her emotion, destroyed something that she bought herself, blinded with rage, left the, got so crazy in front of kids, and then broke up a relationship that she was in 10 years. Yes. Yeah, men should be that emotional. That's fucking stupid.
Start paying attention, and how it's really up to men to help solve this problem, because they're surely not going to listen to us. So we were walking to the farmer's market, and right behind us were two boys, probably 13 or 14 years old, and they were saying things like, Trump is the best, what has he ever done, he has more followers online, I don't get why no one would like him. And I was seething because my 6'4", handsome, white privileged boyfriend wasn't saying anything. And so finally I stop, I turn around, and I get right in their face, and I said, he's a fucking rapist. He's a certified fucking rapist. And they go white in the face. Boyfriend, still just standing there, not saying anything. Once the boys get their bearings, they say something like, Trump is my daddy. Trump is your daddy. And I was furious. I had a full-blown crash out. I took my full morning latte and I smashed it on the ground, and I grunted and yelled and walked away. And he's like, what's the matter? You're the matter. Not even the boys so much. Him, because he had an opportunity to stand up against misogyny and he fucking didn't. I broke up with my boyfriend, someone I love.
Stand against misogyny. Stand against misogyny. The hate of women. These boys were talking about Trump, not about women. These boys were talking about Trump, not about women. And you think it was standing against misogyny. Absolutely psychotic. Absolutely psychotic. So let's read some comments, okay? And this is exactly how a lot of women get their BF killed, people. They tried to force them into putting themselves in an unnecessary situation. What exactly do you think would have happened? At that age, if a grown man that I didn't know tried to lecture me while I'm with my friends, we would get agitated. And since we are minors, that boyfriend of yours would be the one in trouble. Could be, right? You are bothering kids. You are getting emotional on kids. That could have happened. So pubescent boys talked about Trump. You said that was misogyny. So you screamed in their face, and then the 13-year-old boys that you screamed at then trolled you because they're 13. Where did they commit misogyny? Do you know what misogyny is? Exactly. When was these boys talking about women? I like this comment. Here's a story about my inability to regulate my emotions. Yes, queen with me. She responded to this one. Here's a story about how, much like the majority of men, my ex acted cowardly when he had just recently promised he'll speak out against misogynistic comments. Cowardly. You want to act brave in front of kids? And who sees that as a misogynistic comment? He talked about Trump, not about women. And much to my embarrassment and the satisfaction of those little twats, brought out the worst in me, accumulated in my loss of respect for him and the end of our relationship. Yeah, okay. Why is it bro's job to change the way someone else thinks? I agree with that. Nah, no normal adult responds the way you did. I need you to know that. I was expecting them to be saying horrible things to another person, not some fragile woman tilting at a benign conversation that didn't include them. He didn't scream at some 13-year-old kids with me, so I dumped him for being misogyny's silent enabler. Is wild when when said out loud, yet here we are. Seems like the relationship wasn't the only thing lost that day. That's the insanity of women. She's like, she let some 14-year-olds get to her. Exactly. Absolutely unstable. He dodged a massive bullet. He dodged a firing squad. This is a thing where another thing that why men are just tired. Men are tired of dealing with Western women because these women are insane. These women are insane.